Hello, thank God it's Friday. Here is a message from Verona. Verona says, there's something I've been asking myself about and I'd like to share with you. I don't know about it before, but since I went through anorexia, food has a specific emotional meaning to me which I can't yet identify. I'm having a healthy weight now since a year, and anorexia lasted about a year for me too. A friend is currently visiting and living with me for a while, and it stresses me out so much to share food with him, to buy food together and to cook together, etc. Part of me doesn't want to leave him alone in my kitchen because I'm scared he could eat more than half of the certain things, or generally being scared he could eat away my, that's in inverted commas, food. When there is special food, I normally don't have or just can't get any time, like blueberries from the forest or my mum's banana bread. I feel like I don't want to share it because it's so precious. I would get so stressed if he would eat more of the nuts we got together than I would eat. So I would eat a lot in advance or take my share in advance before something like this happens. This is not because of him. I noticed this behaviour within myself with previous friends who visited me at home too. It really creates negative emotions and pressure. I wonder if this could have anything to do with eating disorders, or whether I'm just greedy, or whether I'm projecting certain fears in this food situation, like the fear of missing out, etc. Food just plays such an emotional role in my life. Sometimes I would be happy about going to work because we have nice food there. I'd never want to miss a family get together because of good food my mum cooks. Sometimes there are moments when I don't remember I didn't have certain foods I like in a long time, for example, dates, and then it would create this fear of having to have that again. I don't really understand and I don't feel liberated. Do I have any thoughts on this? Yeah, super common, Rona. Very common. I experienced just about all of that. The difference for me being that I wouldn't have had a friend to stay for that very reason. I just could not cope. And also for me, because my sort of possessiveness and hoarding, and I've spoken about it a lot before, how for me, my what I call the resource scarcity brain was for so much more than food that genuinely it would stress me out, the thought of somebody being in my house and going to the toilet and using toilet roll. That would genuinely make me feel stressed. I would not invite people over for that reason. Massively fucked up. Anyway, now I understand why my brain did that, because my brain was under the impression that resources are scarce, and that's why your brain gets possessive about resources. And so this is just what you're experiencing. You know, your brain is still sort of acting as if resources are scarce. Because if you think about it from your brain's point of view, if resources were scarce and your brain is under the impression that you are in an environment where there's not enough food for everyone, it's going to be stressed about someone else digging into your supply, isn't it? Of course it is. That's just your brain trying to survive. It doesn't mean anything about you as a person. It doesn't mean that you're greedy. It doesn't mean you're selfish. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that your brain thinks that resources are scarce. When your brain no longer thinks that resources are scarce, this will stop happening. I can definitely tell you that's true. Because now, I could not give a flying fuck about who comes to my house and uses toilet roll. So that's nice. That's not the only thing I couldn't give a flying fuck about either, but lots of things that I used to give plenty of fucks about when I had anorexia, I don't give any fucks about now, so that's really nice. So I can tell you it definitely changes, but what that indicates to me, if that's still going on for you, Verona, is that your brain still believes that you're in an area of resource scarcity. You've put in there that you're at a healthy weight. I'm always going to say healthy weight according to whom, aren't I? Because your brain is indicating that it still thinks resources are scarce. And so that can either be one of two things or both of the things. It could be that you're still in an energy deficit. It could be that you are still eating in a way that would indicate to your brain that food is scarce. And what I'm saying there is that you're still restricting a bit. Yeah, I get you probably are not restricting anything like you used to. But what I'm saying is maybe you're not eating completely without restriction. You're not eating in a way that is if food meant nothing and you could just have what you want and you could have as much as it if you want. Or it could be both of those things. As I said, you could be in energy deficit still, and you could be somewhat just still a little bit restricted in how you're eating. And so those are the things that you need to work out and work on. And also just understand that our brains don't do anything for no reason. So you've noticed that your brain does this weird thing, and it's annoying and it stresses you out. But we've got to look at and just, take it for granted why your brain's not stupid. So if it's doing something like that, there has to be a reason for it. And the reason for it in this circumstance, according to me, is that it's because your brain still believes or has the impression that it's an environment of resource scarcity. And like I said at the start, you're definitely not the only one. I experienced this on a very extreme scale, and it really did limit my life. It's very difficult to be social when you're not allowed to you can't let anybody into your house because you're afraid that they're going to use toilet roll. It really puts a dampener on your social life, because then you can only go to other people's houses. But then I was always scared to go to other people's houses because, they might offer me food. So I felt safer, in my own environment that I could control. But then, you can't really invite people in for a cup of tea and then be like, you can't use the toilet, can you? So yeah, quite limiting. Really was quite limiting. Glad I got over that. Thank goodness, hey? And you'll get over this as well. You just got to focus on those two things. Have a look at what you're doing. And basically, what the problem you've got to solve is you've got to look at what you're doing and say, how am I still giving my brain the indication that we're in an environment of resource scarcity? How might I still be acting as if that's true somewhat? How am I teaching my brain that resources are scarce within what I'm doing? Because there will be something, because like I say, brain doesn't do anything just for the fun of it. If your brain is acting like resources are scarce, it's because something that you are doing is indicating to your brain that resources are scarce still. And it's really worth just getting down to the bottom of that, rewiring it, getting out of it, because then none of this will have a problem. And it's so wonderful to just be able to share things with people and not care. It's just not even a thing. I used to feel so guarded, say if someone did go into my house, or have people come to stay would be the most stressful thing ever. I'd be watching them like a hawk, that they might eat a raisin or something. And it's just so nice not to care, to genuinely not care. I love not caring about stuff. It's so much easier than being stressed out about everything the whole time. Caring is really overrated sometimes. It's fabulous not to care about the things that don't matter. I mean, caring for other people is, I guess, a nice thing to do, but yeah, be careful how much of that you do as well. All right, happy Friday. Bye.